The next thing I want to show you on our Round Rock ISD district iPads is the self-service app. So this app is where you can self-install apps that have already been put into the group that your iPad is in. So when you look for it, it's called self-service. It has it's like a square with 4 colors here. And as long as you're connected to internet, you can install these apps. So even if this was connected to home Wi-Fi or district Wi-Fi, make sure it's RRISD, but it'll download even at home. So these are the list of apps that are actually assigned to this iPad. So first you can go here and you can self-install anything you want. If you want to delete something, you can do the little squiggle where you hold down the app and then say delete app, and then you can always install it again later. But it's up to you what you want on your iPads. Because we manage so many in the special education department, we don't auto push a lot, because I like to leave it up to the teachers and the staff to kind of customize what they want and not be overloaded by apps that maybe they don't need. Another thing just to be aware of is there are some apps in here that are district approved, but it might be because one campus had an account to it or purchased an account to it and another didn't. So for example, RAS Kids A to Z right here, this is a tool that some campuses purchase with PTA funds or campus funds, but it's not something that the district has an account for. So it could be here, but you might have to pay extra for like an account. So there are a couple things on here. Feel free to try things, give it a try, but just have that in the back of your head that if it's asking for like a login, it might not be supported district-wide. So this is the self-service catalog. If there's something on here that, or if there's something you want to add to it, first I would go to the Round Rock ISD software and apps page. So this is accessible to all staff, and so you can search for software, tools, apps that you're interested in. So first you can check over here to see if it's already approved. If it is approved, or even if it's not approved, then you can go to this next step with the SPED ITS app request form. And what this will do, it'll kind of walk you through the process that if it is something that's already installed, it'll let the SPED ITS know so they can put that in the JAMP group. But if it's not approved already or needs to have purchasing, there's a couple of other steps involved to get that properly processed or approved. So you can just fill out this form if you want to have an app added on there, and if it needs to be approved, I'll have you assist in the approval process to get that one official for Round Rock ISD and then eventually on this list. So until you can request other apps be added into here. Another thing just to be aware of, that apps update from the App Store at midnight every night. So for example, if an app that you use often, say Class Dojo, lets you know that they have an app update that you need for certain features or for things to work properly. At midnight, our servers with JAMP, the management system, update. Now, sometimes those don't automatically push down to the individual iPad. So one way to guarantee that is you can always delete the current app off your iPad and then reinstall it from the self-service. So always take a look at self-service as like the most recent, whatever is out there in App World, Apple App World, the updates, that's what self-service is going to be too. It's kind of like always fresh. So some of y'all are familiar with certain apps that update a lot, and the process is usually just delete the app, then reinstall it from self-service, and you'll get all those updates. So those are just some really good important tips when you're using self-service. And once again, feel free to install what you need, delete it if you don't want it, and you can always install it later from self-service. If it doesn't install right away when you click it, give it a second. It might take a while. It might refresh, and you might have to press install again. But if it says reinstall, that means it already is somewhere on your iPad or being installed at the moment.